Welcome to the Emerging History channel. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out more videos like this one. Brussels, 1927. The greatest minds in physics gather for the Savfk conference. 17 of the 29 attendees were or became Nobel Prize winners, including Einstein and Curie, defining the future of quantum mechanics in a single frame. Berlin, 1913, King George V and Tsar Nicholas II stand side by side, highlighting their uncanny family resemblance, just 1 year before their empires would clash in war. These royal cousins display a unity that would soon fracture. New York City, 1909. Steel cables stretch across the East River as the Manhattan Bridge takes shape. This feat of engineering would soon connect the bustling boroughs, changing the city's skyline and transit systems for the century to come. Finland, 1940, a Soviet prisoner of war stares into the camera with piercing eyes. During the Winter War, his gaze captures the brutal reality of a frozen conflict that tested the resilience of soldiers on both sides. Alabama, 1969, Dr. Wernher von Braun stands dwarfed by the massive F-1 engines of the Saturn V rocket. These mechanical giants would provide the raw power necessary to propel humanity away from Earth and onto the lunar surface. Tehran, 1943. The Big Three, Stalin, Roosevelt, and Churchill, sit together to strategize against the Axis powers. This meeting signaled a pivotal shift in World War II as the Allied leaders coordinated their military efforts for victory. Alabama, 1956 civil rights icon Rosa Parks is fingerprinted after her indictment for organizing the bus boycott. Her quiet dignity in this moment sparked a movement that would dismantle segregation and change American history forever. London, 1856 veterans of the Crimean War pose for a photograph displaying the medals of their service. These weary soldiers survived one of the first modern conflicts, bridging the gap between old military traditions and industrial warfare. United States, 1990s, a group of friends haul heavy CRT monitors and tower PCs for a classic LAN party before high-speed internet gaming required physical effort tangles of cables and the dedication to carry heavy hardware for a match. Rome, 1850s. The Veiled Virgin by Giovanni Strazza captivates viewers with its impossible texture, carved entirely from marble. The stone appears as transparent fabric, showcasing the incredible mastery required to turn solid rock into delicate silk. United States, 1943. A man poses with his loyal dog inside a vintage photo booth amidst the uncertainty of the war years. This candid snapshot captures a timeless bond and a moment of simple joy between a human and his best friend. Washington, D.C., 1987. James Hudson balances carefully to clean the ear of Abraham Lincoln with a cloth-wrapped pole. Maintaining the massive memorial requires precision and patience, ensuring the president's statue remains pristine for millions of visitors. Houston, 1955. Jazz legend Ella Fitzgerald sits in a police station after performing for an integrated audience. Despite her fame, she faced the harsh reality of segregation laws. Yet her music continued to break down racial barriers. United States, 1850. A man wearing tinted spectacles holds a cat in this rare daguerreotype. The Bier's protective glasses were likely used for sensitive eyes or medical treatment, adding a layer of intrigue to this charming pet portrait. Denver, 1969, high school teacher Sandy Brockman commands attention in a bold hippie-style print dress. Her fashion choice reflects the cultural shift of the era, bringing the vibrant energy of the 60s directly into the classroom. Japan, 1984. The Sony WM-30 Walkman redefined portable music with its sleek, expandable design. This device allowed a generation to carry their soundtrack everywhere, marking the golden age of cassette tapes and personal audio technology. Mount Everest, 1953, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay smile triumphantly after becoming the first humans to reach the summit. Their feat conquered the world's highest peak, pushing the boundaries of human endurance and exploration. Bologna, 12th century, dozens of stone towers dominate the skyline of this medieval Italian city. While only a few remain today, these structures once served as status symbols for wealthy families, turning the city into a forest of masonry. Arizona, 1970s, two Native American women graced the cover of a local magazine blending traditional jewelry with 70s fashion. This image highlights cultural pride and the evolving representation of indigenous communities during a decade of social change. United States, 1969. A newspaper headline screams, "The historic news that man has walked on the moon." This print artifact captures the collective awe of humanity as the space race culminated in a giant leap on the lunar surface. United Kingdom, 1959. The Bowden Spacelander bicycle looks like a vehicle from the future with its fiberglass curves. Though commercially unsuccessful at the time, its space-age design remains a stunning example of mid-century industrial optimism. New York City, 1973. Ironworkers casually pose atop the unfinished North Tower of the World Trade Center without harnesses. These sky-high laborers built the iconic skyline, showing nerves of steel thousands of feet above the streets below. Moscow, 1972. International students celebrate their graduation from the Patrice Lumumba People's Friendship University, established to educate students from developing nations. The university became a unique cultural crossroads during the height of the Cold War. New York City, 1905 buildings crumble along 7th Avenue to make way for the original Penn Station. This massive clearing operation paved the way for a Beaux-Arts masterpiece that would itself eventually be demolished decades later. Venice, 17th century. A Holy Bible reveals a dark secret, hiding a concealed pistol within its pages, owned by Doge Francesco Morosini. This artifact proves that even in times of prayer, powerful leaders kept protection close at hand. Sweden, 1910 photographer Per Elise Edlund captures a tender moment with his daughter Tyra. The soft lighting and composition showcase the artist's skill while immortalizing a personal family memory in the early days of photography. Hollywood, 1996. Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves share a smile during the height of their Speed fame. Their on-screen chemistry translated into a lasting friendship, capturing the charm of two of the 90s biggest movie stars. Geneva, 1961. Marcello Mastroianni and Brigitte Bardot relax on the set of a very private affair. This candid shot brings together the icons of Italian and French cinema, exuding the effortless glamour of the swinging 60s. Germany, 1890. Smoke billows from the massive chimneys of the Krupp Company works in Essen. This industrial titan was the forge of the German Empire, producing the steel and armaments that would soon shape European history. Wiltshire, 1958. Cranes and workers surround the ancient stones of Stonehenge during major restoration efforts, while the site appears timeless. These mid-century repairs were crucial in re-erecting fallen megaliths and preserving the mystery for future generations. London, 1940. Two detectives escort a suspect from the headquarters of the British Union of Fascists. As war with Germany intensified, the British government moved quickly to dismantle internal fascist organizations and detain potential sympathizers. England, 1940. Sergeant Pietro Salvadori looks weary after being captured during the Battle of Britain as an Italian pilot shot down over enemy soil. His expression reflects the uncertainty of becoming a prisoner in a foreign land. Ireland, 1890. An elderly woman works diligently at her spinning wheel in a rural cottage. This image captures a disappearing way of life where homemade textiles and traditional craftsmanship were still vital for daily survival. Pacific Ocean, 1944. Crew members of the USS Intrepid gather for a solemn burial at sea. Rows of canvas-wrapped bodies slide into the ocean, a stark reminder of the heavy cost paid by sailors during the Pacific Campaign. Crimea 1945 President Roosevelt confers with advisor Harry Hopkins and Soviet diplomat Molotov at the Yalta Conference. Frail but determined, Roosevelt worked to shape the post-war world order just months before his death. Chicago 1931, associates of Al Capone shield their faces with hats and hands during the infamous tax evasion trial. The courtroom drama marked the downfall of America's most notorious gangster, ending his reign over the criminal underworld. Pacific Ocean 1945 sailors aboard the USS Hansford commit a fallen comrade to the deep after the battle for Iwo Jima. The ceremony pauses the chaos of evacuation, offering a moment of respect for the ultimate sacrifice. New York City 2001, a firefighter gazes upward at the skeletal ruins of the World Trade Center, standing amidst the dust and debris. His posture conveys the overwhelming scale of the tragedy and the exhaustion of the rescue efforts. Staffordshire 1930s workers stack heavy saggers inside a bottle kiln to prepare pottery for firing these distinct ovens. Define the landscape of the potteries, housing the intense heat needed to create the region's world-famous ceramics. England 1938. A mother pushes a stroller equipped with a gas-proof lid as war clouds gather over Europe. This chilling invention highlights the anxiety of the civilian population preparing to protect even infants from chemical attacks. United Kingdom 1883. Hattie Matters poses with a distorted expression, having won a contest for the scariest face before modern entertainment gurning competitions allowed people to celebrate the bizarre and the grotesque in local cultural festivals. North Carolina 1935, a young farmer stands on resettled land during the Great Depression part of a New Deal program. This community offered a fresh start to struggling families, hoping to turn poverty into self-sufficiency. Italian Alps 1915, Italian soldiers hoist a dog and a comrade onto a rocky peak. During World War I, fighting in this vertical terrain required immense physical strength, making the Alps one of the war's most difficult fronts. American West 1870, a rugged cowboy stands proudly beside his young daughter. In this frontier portrait, the image softens the harsh reality of the Wild West, showing that family bonds existed even in the most untamed territories. United States 1890, a sailor poses with a small cat perched on his shoulder. Mascots were common on naval vessels for morale and pest control, but this photo captures a genuine friendship amidst the rigors of sea life. Washington, D.C. 1948, a young John F. Kennedy relaxes at home with his sister Eunice before the presidency, and the fame. This intimate glimpse shows a future leader in his early political career sharing a quiet moment with family. California 1978. Florence Thompson holds the iconic migrant mother photograph that made her face famous. Decades later, she finally reclaims her identity, bridging the gap between the symbol of the Depression and the real woman who survived it. Louisiana 1940s, a family stands outside their makeshift tent home near Alexandria. This image reflects the transient and often difficult living conditions faced by laborers and military families during the housing shortages of the war era. Denmark 1990s, a young Mads Mikkelsen poses with his wife Hanna Jakobsen long before he became a Hollywood villain. This photo captures the early days of a couple who have shared their lives for nearly 4 decades. Alabama 1974, Hank Aaron takes a swing during an exhibition game just days before making history with the weight of the world on his shoulders. He prepared to break Babe Ruth's home run record and become a legend. Tunisia 1978, Eric Idle and George Harrison joke around on the set of Life of Brian the Beetle, actually mortgaged his house to fund the Monty Python film, proving his dedication to comedy and their enduring friendship. St. Louis 1925. The musicians of the Cotton Club Band pose with their instruments ready to play in the Roaring Twenties. These jazz ensembles were the heartbeat of the nightlife, creating the rhythm for a generation of flappers. Vietnam 1966. a veteran recreates a pose from his youth, bridging the gap between past and present. The split-screen effect highlights the passage of time, showing how the memories of service remain vivid even as the soldier ages. Japan 1980s rebellious teenagers sport towering pompadours and leather jackets imitating American greasers. This subculture, known as Bosozoku, mixed 50s rockabilly style with motorcycle gangs, creating a unique and loud aesthetic on the streets of Tokyo. United States 1958. An engineer navigates a complex wall of wires inside an early IBM computer before microchips computing required miles of cabling and manual connections, highlighting the physical labor once needed to process digital information. United States 1921. A baby sleeps in a high-tech pram equipped with a radio antenna and loudspeaker. This eccentric invention attempted to soothe infants with wireless broadcasts, showing that the desire for mobile entertainment started a century ago. Egypt 1865. A man stands on the lap of a colossal Ramesses II statue at Abu Simbel. His tiny scale emphasizes the grandeur of the ancient temple which had sat partially buried in sand for thousands of years. New York 1969. A dry cliff face replaces the thundering waters of Niagara Falls. Engineers diverted the flow to study erosion, revealing a rocky skeleton usually hidden beneath millions of gallons of rushing water. Paris, 1890. The rooftops of Paris create a dense mosaic of chimneys and slate. Captured shortly after the completion of the Eiffel Tower, the city was entering the Belle Époque, a golden age of art, culture, and innovation. Turkey, 1969. Turkish men enjoy a communal lunch carved into the soft volcanic rock of Cappadocia. This candid moment by Bill Ray captures the timeless tradition of breaking bread in a region defined by its unique ancient geology. France, 1944. American soldiers transport captured German troops on the hood of a Jeep as the Allies pushed through France. Such makeshift prisoner transports became a common sight, signaling the crumbling of the German occupation. France, 1976. The Concorde takes flight. Its delta wings cutting through the air. This supersonic marvel allowed passengers to travel faster than the speed of sound, shrinking the globe and defining a luxurious era of aviation history. Tsar 1970s Soviet guards patrol the tense border with China. The Sino-Soviet split turned former allies into rivals, transforming this remote frontier into a militarized zone where two communist superpowers eyed each other with suspicion. Florida, 1994. A young Justin Timberlake and Ryan Gosling posed together during their Mickey Mouse Club days. These smiling kids would go on to become two of the biggest superstars in entertainment, starting their journey on the same stage. Albuquerque, 1978. A scruffy group of young employees poses for a photo looking more like a band than a corporation. This is the early Microsoft team, including Bill Gates, unaware they were about to revolutionize the world. United States 1950s teenagers lean against cars at a local drive-in, the ultimate social hub of the era, with milkshakes and rock and roll. This scene encapsulates the freedom of American youth culture in the mid-20th century. New York City, 1984. Nicolas Cage and Diane Lane attend a party for the Cotton Club. The two rising stars epitomized 80s Hollywood glamour, celebrating the release of Francis Ford Coppola's ambitious jazz-age gangster film. Mojave Desert, 1963. Steve McQueen relaxes after a grueling 500-mile dirt bike race known as the King of Cool. He loved racing as much as acting, proving he was just as tough off-screen as he was on it. Arizona, 1987. Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter film a scene for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Their on-screen friendship defined a generation of slackers and launched a cult classic franchise that remains beloved decades later. Japan, 1877. The majestic keep of Nagoya Castle stands tall, topped with golden dolphins. This photo preserves the memory of the original structure before it was tragically destroyed by air raids during the Second World War. Germany, 1869. The twisted wreckage of the Warburg locomotive lies on the tracks after a boiler explosion. This dramatic disaster highlights the dangers of early steam technology, where high pressure and mechanical failure could lead to sudden catastrophe. Los Angeles, 1991, Keanu Reeves walks the red carpet for the premiere of Point Break. This role cemented his status as an action star blending surf culture with high-stakes robbery in a film that became an instant classic. Hollywood, 1979, John Travolta and Marilu Henner strike a pose during the height of the disco era as stars of Taxi. They represented the energy of 70s television, mixing comedy with undeniable star power. South Dakota, 1876, Calamity Jane poses with a rifle in the rough town of Deadwood, a frontierswoman and scout. She broke every gender norm of her time, becoming a legend of the Wild West alongside Wild Bill Hickok. Hollywood, 1942, Paulette Goddard, Dorothy Lamour, and Veronica Lake pose together a trio of cinema legends. These actresses defined the silver screen era, bringing beauty, wit, and distinctive style to audiences during the war years. Hollywood, 1983, Tom Cruise and Rebecca De Mornay look effortless at a promotional event fresh off the success of Risky Business. This pair captured the cool, youthful aesthetic that would come to define 80s cinema. London, 1992. Keanu Reeves adopts a Victorian look for a promotional shoot for Bram Stoker's Dracula. Stepping into a gothic horror period piece marked a departure for the actor, showing his willingness to experiment with diverse roles. Vietnam, 1968, news anchor Walter Cronkite interviews Professor Mai in the ruins of Hugh Cronkite's reporting from the ground during the Tet Offensive shifted American public opinion, marking the first time a war was truly televised. Italy, 1993, Keanu Reeves and Denzel Washington share a laugh on the set of Much Ado About Nothing. This Shakespeare adaptation brought together a diverse cast of heavyweights, proving the Bard's work could still sparkle on the big screen.